Hello everyone and welcome. Today we'll be going for a full light tactic build with well, mostly full. We'll have one ice, but we'll be starting with that. So I mostly just want I mostly want the light tactic chance to make sure I pick up everything else I need. And then for this run, I am going to be starting with no damage reward, speedrun reward, fast kill, MP recovery, and fewer rewards. You want to make sure you're getting the most money possible out of the shops, especially if you're playing at like 75 plus, because you get more chances to reroll the stores. If you're going for really high potential counts. Normally I don't run this entire setup in videos, but I want to show off as many of her new things as possible, so I'm going to try and get as many potentials as I can. And then fast kill MP recovery, if you can afford to buy it every run, is just something that's a huge quality of life on every single character. But mine in particular needs it a lot more than some other characters. She goes through MP very quickly early game if you don't have a high cap. They didn't really change anything about the early game of Mai. She's still a little bit slow to start until you get a couple potentials. But I do like the changes overall that they made to her. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up X-Seal with the ability to throw it diagonally. It's just a really strong buff for clearing out the regular rooms faster. This also makes it now where you can charge and hold it, but I don't think it's that useful in high difficulty. There are some cases where it becomes okay to use, but generally you want to be staying a lot more active and just keeping enemies in hit stun so they can't hit you, obviously. And then a lot of her other changes came to her airborne attack, but we won't be able to see those until we get some hidden potentials for them. Picking up the airborne attack is really early on is always good, though, for Mai, because her down air is just so good. That was funny. A whole bunch of enemies just spawned directly on top of the fire and pretty much died instantly. Picking up Mark Resonance early on is going to help out a lot, too, with the build. So the legacy tactics we took are for Summon Ice Spike, and then a red tactic where Ice Spike can apply Holy Marks to enemies. It makes the Ice Spikes themselves deal a lot more damage, because they also detonate the the Holy Marks. And then the other thing I started with was Holy Mark and Stable Mark. Stable Mark is very, very important for this build. Stable Mark in general is just generally the best upgrade for Holy Marks. Because while Holy Marks would normally expire in a single hit, the Stable Mark makes it last for a certain duration, and then you can hit the enemy multiple times. So when your character is doing DPS, or in this case, when I have multiple Ice Spikes hitting as well, it will trigger the Holy Mark damage each time, instead of just once. So I guess in the case of Ice Spikes, each Ice Spike would probably put another Holy Mark on. I'm not sure how that works, actually, with the red tactic. One thing I wish they would have changed with Mai is to give her Spear a little bit of a bigger hitbox. At least in terms of vertical size. Because You'll notice that a lot of times I try to combo enemies and then do a spear throw. I can maybe show it off here. Let me... It's kind of gonna be kind of hard to show off on purpose, at least in this stage, but if an enemy is knocked down and you throw a spear, I notice a lot of times the spear will just go right over top of them. So I wish they would update the hitbox a little bit so that doesn't happen. If I remember, I'll test that out a little bit when I get the next potential. I'll go into the training room for it. Ooh, that was close. I haven't played this game in a while, so I'm getting used to the movement again. I'll definitely go ahead and pick up the gold Attack Light Wave since it's here. Attack Light Wave isn't very important for this. It's not very important for it's Mai herself. She does have the down attack, which does decent damage, but it's not high enough damage to where you can really go a full Light Wave build for her. Light Wave is something that I'm more grabbing for tactics synergy, which we'll see later. One of the things you need for the new hidden effects is the invulnerability during the airborne attack, so if you see that, you might as well pick it up. It's also just generally useful to have. Okay, let me check on something. There the spear actually hit. I need him to knock down, please. So like there, for example, my spear just misses. I've seen it happen a lot when I play her. I wish they would just make the hit stun a little bit bigger, especially when they went through the effort of, like, adding more hidden effects and changing other things. So here's another one of the new updates with the spear, speaking of. You can throw it horizontally, and then press... Why is it not working? There we go. You can throw it horizontally, and then press the action key to make it home in on an enemy. Which is fine, I guess. I don't really use it too much over just throwing the spear diagonally to begin with. But it's fine. It is what it is. I guess we'll pick that up just to use it. I feel like once you get the consecutive spear throws, which we have now actually, instead of doing the whole thing of wasting your time with the action key thing, do I take Supreme Mark with this build? I actually don't remember, so I'm just gonna sell it for now. I think Supreme Mark would work in this build, but there's two different ways I can go with it. But yeah, instead of just doing the forward throw in the air and the action key, once I have the ability to rethrow, like, look at how many rethrows I can do in midair instead. I guess, let me see. Maybe you can rethrow off the action key thing too. It'd be much more difficult to do though, by the looks of it. Whereas, actually, where'd the boss HP go? I wasn't expecting to kill him that fast. I mean, I did do a lot of rethrows though. We're going to be picking up Maple Gust as well, because it will synergize with hidden effects I get later. So I've always thought that Mai was plenty strong already, just because of, as you could see, the aerial rethrows I was doing do so much damage. And then he used to be pretty bad, but on one of the patches they made it where every time you catch and rethrow the spear, the next throw does more damage. And that's the point of where I thought Mai was perfectly fine. So I don't think she really needed these options that much for the new spear throwing mechanics, and I don't find myself using them too much in high difficulty compared to how I just used to play her. But I think it's nice they're at least doing something for her. Personally, I would have liked to see some more direct upgrades to Maple Blossom, which is her up plus skill. These tornadoes just don't really do enough damage to be worth using in high difficulty. They did give some mechanics with it, like now if you have up plus jump, you can do it infinitely in Maple Blossom. And then also, once we unlock the teleport mechanic, we'll be able to teleport to it if it hits an enemy. But I really would have liked to see some like damage buffs or some more hidden effects that make the pull range of it better, so it pulls in enemies from further away, or make it like last longer. I think her spear throwing was honestly fine without the changes they made this time, as long as you could do the consecutive grounded throws weren't as strong, which consecutive grounded throws are stronger now because you can charge the spear and then throw it multiple times and it will keep the charged damage, which is much better now. But I think doing air throws is still so much better than even doing a fully charged grounded throw, because you're able to stay mobile, you're able to move a little bit in the air between each throw if you just hold forward. And then being in the air is also much safer. You also don't have to deal with the whole charge time. I might have mentioned this already, but in Transcendence, you really want to stay constantly active when it comes to the normal enemy rooms and bosses even. In normal enemy rooms, if things aren't dead or in hit stun, you can very easily get bursted down. Sometimes even by a single hit, but more particularly by just the increased attack speed and enemy count being able to hit you all at once and burst you. And then in boss fights, you don't really have a whole lot of time to stand still and charge the spear either. It depends on the boss fight, but some you do, some you don't. So you need to pick up Ayani Shiki, you need to pick up the up plus attack version of it, and then you need to pick up the invincibility for the aerial attacks. I think that's everything you need in order to start doing the teleport mechanics. The teleport mechanics work off of Ayani Shiki, which I haven't actually found a way to actually use it off of Ayani Shiki, but it says you can do it. It also works off of spear throws. Oops, I actually missed the first hit of the spear throw. You can see you do a spear throw and then you do the down attack. It also works off of Maple Blossom, though it is a little bit buggy, it seems. If I try to do just a neutral input off of Maple Blossom, it doesn't work. But if I do a neutral off of just a spear throw, it works. If you're doing it off of Maple Gust, you have to hold left or right, but then it also doesn't work. It also doesn't work if you try to do it multiple times. But the weird thing is, you still get the damage bonus. So you get a damage bonus when you teleport. You get a damage bonus to the down attack. It's weird. You still get the damage bonus even though you don't teleport, which is actually insanely powerful, by the way. I'll show you on the boss fight, if we have the correct boss for it, how powerful being able to spam this is. Spamming the down attack was already strong, but just having this damage boost of now you get extra damage each time. Look at how fast he dies. You don't see that type of damage on Mai too often. The one downside to this is that you will break your hand doing this. I did an entire run of basically just doing that against every bosses, and my hands were hurting by the end of the run. On the upside, though, I was able to finish Transcendence 80 in just under 10 minutes, which is a really good pacing for any character, not just Mai. So the buffs definitely did help for her. The way you do the spam, by the way, with the down attacks, is you down attack, you dash as soon as you hit the ground, and then you down attack again immediately. It is a lot of inputs, and it's not the easiest thing to do, but it is very effective. Let me check something. This will go on attack slot, which I can get in this build. But first, I think I'm going to pick up Mark Flash. I think I'll wait and explain the entire build altogether once I get more red effects for it. But the that was a big burst of flashes right there. This build is so cool to look at. I love anything that anything involving holy marks. Oh, let's pick this up. Supreme Mark is really good if you're running any type of Lightwave build. I mean, if you're running any Holy Mark build, because it just makes the Holy Marks deal more damage. But yeah, basically the short version of the tactic build we've got going on right now is that Ice Spikes will apply Holy Marks for us, and then because we have Stable Mark, we can hit those marks as many times as we want until they expire. And then, as we're hitting those marks, they're exploding into flashes that also deal damage. The flashes deal damage because of a very specific upgrade for Flash. You guys will have the entire build, as always. I always put that on the screen at the beginning of the run. If I forgot for some reason, since I haven't made these videos in a while, it'll be linked as well. I have all of my builds put together on Google Sheets. So another thing they changed is that if you get the up plus jump and you have Maple Blossom, you can do the up plus jump infinitely, which is kind of funny because you're completely invincible while you're doing the up plus jump. There's also some stuff like you can... I'm not very good at it yet, but let me try it. That does not feel very immediate. That just feels kind of normal to me, but you're supposed to be able to immediately combo from teleporting into doing Moon Blossom, but I don't really see it as being that fast, but that might be a skill issue, but I don't know. I feel like I'm doing it as fast as I can. But for now, I'm going to pick up SP skill because Mai's SP is very powerful and charges extremely quickly when you're doing the consecutive throws. The other good thing about this flash setup with Holy Marks is that normal enemies pretty much can't hit you anymore. Once you get one flash off, they all get blinded, and then I don't think blind has any kind of cooldown on normal enemies. If it does have a cooldown, I usually just kill them too fast to really notice it. Blind has a cooldown on bosses, but I don't really ever run into the problem with normal enemies. Am I out of... Oh yeah, I'm really out of mana. I should have... Yeah, I do have fast kill recovery. But I don't know why I'm having so many mana problems. Unless I missed some consecutive spear throws or something. So I think Light Spear upgrade is technically better if you're going for the full build with Light Wave. But I think... Well, I might as well just take it, since I don't have tactic rerolls. Holy Light Spear is really fun, because it just makes the build visually a lot more attractive. But Light Spear upgrade will do more damage. That's not what I was trying to do, but okay. It works, I guess. Let me just charge my spear directly in his face. What could possibly go wrong? So normally I would always be picking up the dash upgrades for Mai, and I do recommend them. But the problem that they didn't fix with this is that once you get into where you're using her special dash animation instead of her regular one, you can't cancel into these really fast down attacks or down airs like you would be able to right now. Which, with those getting buffed by the Maple Blossom thing, it really sucks to not be able to cancel them. What I would rather see instead of having the, like, spammable bonus damage is put, like, a cooldown on the bonus damage, but make it where when you do teleport and you have that bonus damage up, you do really high burst damage. Because the damage you get if you're... Or, like, the bonus damage, I mean, you get out of this if you're just teleporting occasionally isn't that high. In order to really get the DPS, you have to be spamming it like this in Maple Blossom. Which I don't think a lot of people are going to do. I need to make sure I don't pick up Light Spear Flash, because I want the opposite one, and they take up the same slot. Let's hope I... Okay, good. I got a Raccoon this time. If I get the eye, I can't do the spam stuff. You can see it's not like... It's not super high levels of burst damage, but it's a lot better than what Mai had previously. And considering this is Transcendence 80, that level of consistent DPS is more than okay, in my opinion. I think we could probably hit all potentials this run, if I wanted to, which I don't want to pick up any dash potentials. You could pick up the dash potentials where the... Ooh. I don't know. The only thing if I use this, my Maple Blossom becomes even worse than it already is. I would like it to at least do some damage. And I still need to get more double tactics, so they probably just won't use this. But yeah, anyways, you can pick up the... Let me just show it. You can pick up the middle upgrades just fine, where you get the special dash after the second dash. But if you pick up the last upgrade, where the special lunging action will skip the dash action, you won't be able to cancel this down attack into itself anymore, because you get locked into the special dash animation instead, which is really unfortunate. One of the big parts about her is that she has that special dashing animation, and having to gut my DPS for taking it is a little annoying. Which, honestly, she doesn't really need the DPS from spamming this if you're good at doing air catches and rethrows. You get more than enough DPS out of that. You can also do stuff like 1,000 Spears for DPS, or Ayane Shiki's Hold skill attack. 1,000 Spears is a lot more safe, because you get permanent invulnerability during it for some reason. Somebody thought that was a good idea. Then again, the amount of things you can get permanent invulnerability from this game is quite high. Either permanent invulnerability or near invulnerability. I'm just waiting for them to include some new boss that has invulnerability bypass. Because we used to not have dodge frame bypass, and then it's like, oh, it's way too easy to get permanent dodge frames against bosses, so they added the dodge frame bypass. But then they've just been like, they've been making the game to the point of where you can get infinite iframes now. So are they going to go and put iframe bypass as a thing too? By the way, I'm guessing you guys have already heard about this if you're fans of Entropy Effect and watch my channel often. But they did announce something called Entropy Effect X, which we don't really have information on what it is. If it's a sequel, or if it's just like an expansion DLC, or what the hell it is, which is worrying me. Because, worst case scenario, they make the PC players buy it again as a re-release. And the fact that they aren't giving any information is what's making me worried about that. I hope they're not just waiting till last minute and being like, oh, sorry, you have to buy it again. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Really, the main thing that has been shown, and that I can gather from what I've seen, is that there's going to be a story update to some degree, and it seems like the game is being officially recognized as an actual Blazblue title, which is cool. I'm glad it's getting that recognition, because it deserves it. But like I said, the thing I'm worried about is that they're just going to like screw over PC and mobile players. So now we're going to pick up Flash Light Spear. When Flash appears, fire a Light Spear at it. So now I think we have the full setup. Wait. Okay, yeah, I did get the right one. I think I just can't... I can't get something that would go in the skill slot. No, I should be able to get Light Spear, Light Wave still. So I have one more red tactic to go. Yes, this goes to skill slot, so I have one more red tactic and then I can explain the full build. You're not dead? Come on, dude. You could pick up both Light Spear Flash and Flash Light Spear, I guess, but they don't form an infinite. It'll just summon one extra group of Light Spears is all. So I think it's better to go with the Light Wave build. Unless you want to just replace Light Wave for something else. There we go, now we get our last red effect. Upon hitting an enemy, Light Spears activate Light Wave, and the damage is calculated from the damage caused by the Light Spear. That last part is why you specifically want to take Light Spear Upgrade over Holy Light Spear if you want the most damage. So now we have Ice Spikes, which apply Holy Marks. When we attack something that has a Holy Mark on it, they'll have a chance to trigger Flash, and we can do this very often because of Stable Mark. Then, every time Flash triggers, it deals damage because of Flash Enhancement, and also summons a Light Spear. Then, every time a Light Spear is summoned, it also does a Light Wave. So, you have insane amount of DPS off of just hitting the just hitting off of the Holy Marks. You have Stable Mark, which causes it to deal damage every time. You have Flash Enhancement, which is dealing damage from the flashes. Then you have Light Spears dealing their damage, and Light Wave dealing its damage. And then Supreme Mark also just makes the Holy Marks themselves way stronger. This is probably one of the most powerful builds in the game, if you get it put all together. I think in terms of, like, general power, the setup that is very similar to this, that uses... let me think about it for a second. The setup that uses Summon Lightning Orb instead is a little bit more powerful, but the benefit to this one is that it's better on ranged users. This whole setup can trigger from range, whereas with the Lightning Orbs, you're reliant on being in melee range constantly. Did I get the other hidden effect somewhere? Let me see. I still don't have it. What do I need? Okay, I need to unlock dash plus skill, and then up plus jump, which I should be able to do pretty soon. I barely just don't have enough. But we'll get a potential here, and we should be able to get it. Not having triple dash is a little bit weird, but my flash saved me from taking a hit there anyways. Oh, that was just bad timing on my part. I can't blame anything on triple dash there. But yeah, the damage output is really good. A lot of that is because the tactics are just so powerful, but my buffs definitely help. I can heal them a bit. Getting this would allow my down airs to do a lot more damage as well, but I guess I can just show this off in the training room. This is a new hidden effect as well that allows you to go directly into an invincible state. It's kind of redundant, though I guess with the up plus jump one, it's invincible and you get vertical height, and then with this one, it allows you to retreat. So I guess having both of them is nice. It's just something it's going to take me a long time to get used to using. And then if you hold down skill, you can also do an attack out of this. You used to be able to do a similar thing, but it was only if you use Floral Blizzard Blossom, which is dash plus skill, in midair. Now you can just do it on demand, which is nice. For some reason, I can't leave the training rooms normally anymore. Let's try to use this, I guess. It says, like, I need to hold the button to leave, but it doesn't work. My key bindings, I had to redo everything again, too, so I might have just messed something up there. But it's not a problem I had before this patch. I don't really feel confident enough doing Reki right now. I would need to practice up a lot more on Reki specifically for that, so we're just gonna go probably straight into Susano. Let me grab a good song for that, though. This one's pretty good. It's not the one I had in mind, but it's fine. Alright, I'm gonna focus on the Susano battle now, so enjoy. Oh my god! That was such a terrible fight. In terms of, like, how I played the fight, and how much damage I took unnecessarily. But I just did so much damage, it didn't matter. lot of that was the tactic damage too, by the way. I wasn't really playing Mai that much differently, other than some of the down air spam that I did a little bit in the middle. Mai was already very, very powerful if you could do the consecutive aerial throws, and then putting this build on her just makes anyone strong. But the damage bonus you get from doing Maple Blossom into down airs is definitely very worth doing. The place where I kept getting myself into trouble there is I was trying to do the new action key stuff, and my muscle memory for it was just getting all jumbled up. I wasn't doing it at the correct times I should have been, and then even when I was doing it, I wasn't reacting properly out of it. But that's fine. I haven't played in a long time, and that's kind of to be expected, especially with trying out new changes as well. I'm just happy I got to, like, blow him up and delete him, because that's always fun to show off. Who needs skill when you can just DPS check your way through things, right? Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm not sure if I'll come back to doing more of these a little more frequently, or if I'll just wait till X comes out, but whenever I see you guys again, I'll see you again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.